Hey there, welcome back to RJBTV, where I'll bring you, as requested by a viewer, a Levi replay. This time we have Levi against Trisha, and both players are pretty good. Levi has had some pretty good showings recently against players like Hamburger Sasu, and I think that's pretty much all I've casted from him, just Hamburger Sasu. But this time around his opponent is Trisha, and it's a Terran versus Protoss matchup with Trisha here on the Protoss, Levi here on the Terran. I hope this should be rather good. I'm gonna adjust my seat a little bit so I'm a little bit more comfortable and closer to the screen. So Levi starts off with placing his barrack in a very inconvenient, weird place, pretty far away from his command center. I kind of personally prefer to keep everything rather compact, but he likes to space it pretty damn far away. There's a lot of space in between, and it might come back to haunt him. I'm not too sure. It might. Not saying it will, but it might. Whereas Trisha is going for plus 2 gateways there and a nexus. No pylon in the choke. So 2 gateways nexus, and he has found his opponent there with the probe, so he has information on what's going on. And the Zealots will be moving out to join the fray very soon. They're already on their way. Marines moving to the front here, just to keep his opponent out, chasing the probe, and probably gonna try to keep those Zealots out as well. He's gonna move those Zealots to the side and maybe wait for 2 more Zealots to be ready to go in, and then go for the fight. But he sees that there's 3 Marines here, so he just decides to go for the fight nonetheless, to scare those Marines back to base. But there's 3 more Marines there to help those Zealots, or to help those other Marines kill those Zealots. Academy's on the way there from Levi. It's a pretty quick academy. 1 Marines have spawned. He's got 9 Marines there being microed around those barracks, which are currently not making anything because he's focusing on producing. Also, it might be important to note that this replay is all the way back from either November or December or October. So it's almost already a year old. So both players might actually have improved since then. Although pretty damn good surround there from Trisha on those Marines. Managed to kill a lot of them, but Marines are now being microed in circles pretty well. He's going to try to get 1 more kill at least. He gets 1 more kill, and then he decides to retreat. Or is he going to go back in once those Zealots arrive here? Is he going to go back in? He gets those Zealots in, and he goes back in, and Levi gets caught out once again. His Marines are being chased away. Medics are now on the scene trying to chase the Marines to heal them. He tries a pretty sweet move there and actually catches Trisha off guard by turning the other way around. But nonetheless, Trisha's still going to catch at least 1 more Marine. Although Firebats now have spawned, and the Firebats are going to turn the tide here as the medics keep healing up those Firebats. And look at the fight here, definitely going in favor of Levi as the Firebats clear out those Zealots within lightning speed, with the speed of blinking an eye. More Zealots there going to try to at least slow Levi down as the cannons here in the front are in the process of finishing up. He has his Cyber Core finished, but no tech is up yet. He's not making probes either. I think there's a slight little mistake there from him. So there's a robo there in the front. We have Command Center number 2 here on the way from Levi. We have Stim Upgrade finished as well. There's a factory there on the way as well. And now his base layout is starting to make more sense. Because that means what? What is he doing? Is he going to move them to the front here and build a wall? Or is he going to hover them upon the hills? Anyway, more importantly, he's going to try to sneak by a couple of those Firebats, but there's 4 cannons here in the front, 4 Zealots there as well, and 1 more cannon there on the way. So he's never going to get in there, and I don't think he's even going to try, because he knows that if he tries, he's going to lose his units, and given that he just lifted up his barracks, he had a lot of downtime on his production. Alright, so the barracks are landing in the end here after all. And he's going to resume production, I'm sure, but he's going to try to relocate them again, or is he not going to build them at all? Well, he's going to go for a wall here. All right, nice. One still there in the back. Bunker being built there as well. He has no engineering base there on the way. He's building 4 factories there at the same time during the downtime of not having production. Which enables it. He scans the front here, sees support base, sees the Citadel, sees the Cyber Core. And I think he maybe saw that, well, it's a pylon, not that important. There's a second robo here in the front as well. placing pylons on all corners just to make sure that he sees everything in his base so nothing catches him off guard. Templar's Archive there on the way as well. 2 Morgeo is there on the way too. We've got Shuttle Speed and the Zelax are on the way, and 2 Reavers queued up in those Robos. At the same time, he's building the skeleton of his base, whereas Levi is lifting up his engineering, making its side vision of the hill, just in case something wants to fly in, building turrets in the back and in the front now as well for detection, but also to make it harder to fly shuttles in, or to Reaver Shuttle Micro here in the front, where the shuttle keeps the Reavers away from harm. Zealous there on the middle, gonna move a little back and forth, waiting for the speed to finish up. Reavers here also almost finished up, so I already know what he's gonna do. He's gonna try to break in through the front there, but first he's gonna try to secure the sides there, or is he gonna try to secure the entire map? He's gonna try to secure the entire middle first, while waiting for the Reavers to finish up and get picked up. Whereas Levi is preparing himself for defense, but he spread himself really thin. He spread himself way too thin because all of his units are in the back. He's getting attacked there in the front, and this is not a real wall. This is not a real wall. Zealots can pass through. Zealots can definitely pass through. The Reaver Shuttle is lagging behind by a little bit. He added on the 4 Morgeos there as well, making Templars now 2, and you got Psionic Storm there on the way, so we can expect a switch from Reavers into Storm drops. So 1 more Reavers on the way, Stargate there on the way as well. Now we goes in for the attack, but this single Marine there is blocking access, although Reavers there in the back are going to land behind the tank, behind enemy lines, going to kill the tank and probably get picked up once again. Though he's going to pick them up. He's not picking them up in time. He will lose one of them, so he gets something done, but not that much. A little bit of poor control there by Trisha. He did kill some units, but he lost more units than he killed. And he didn't get that much done. And the tanks in the back are seized up just in time, just within range, to clear up all the units. So the 4 factory move there from Levi, even though very uncommon and something I've never seen before, actually works out quite well. And we're once again seeing Levi doing his very unique, but apparently very efficient build orders. Though this time around, Shuttle's coming in, there's Templars in there, notice a Reaver in there and a Zealot. He's got nothing there to intercept it, so he's just going to have to try and run away with his SCVs. Reaver that gets shot up on the SCVs. I think he killed about 10 or 15 SCVs there. Kills 3 more. That shot might kill a couple more even. Gets another 7. Well, he killed a lot of SCVs there. I think he killed 17 or maybe even 20. Definitely more than Levi could afford to lose, really, because he doesn't have a real wall here in the front. He has a lot of mining downtime because his SCVs are so far away from the minerals. At least he did try to put him to safety. But not having turrets up on the sides and relying on his Goliath to defend himself with the Karen Booster Goliath range upgrade, he's putting himself in a really tight spot that's difficult to play from. Once again, drop coming in over the front. He's gonna know he changes direction. There's a misclick. The real drop coming in here from the top side though. There's 2 Zealots, 1 Templar, and a Corsair there to assist it. So 3 shuttles, 3 drops there, coming in all at the same time from 2 separate locations. He'll load this one. SCVs are running away. He's gonna kill SCVs. He kills not that many, kills 4 or 5, but at least he gets something done. Another shuttle drop there coming in, but it's only Zealots. Already going in to distract while the real drop there in the back with 2 Templars and 2 Zealots coming in there as well, while Levi is still occupied with defending from the previous drop, and he gets some good storms off but kills nothing at all. And Levi keeps his income secure, but he loses a lot of downtime there though. That's a lot of downtime there on his income that he couldn't afford, but another drop there already coming in, and Levi is not being given a single moment to breathe. Already running his SCVs there away, but he kills a couple of SCVs there with a tank shot. With the splash damage of a unit being loaded right on top of the SCVs, kills even 3 more. That's some painful losses there for Levi, as he's once again on 31 SCVs. He, in the meantime, did build a science facility, but he's not going to get much use out of that one. Also, the wall here in the front, as I said, it's not really a wall. It's just 2 structures there blocking the way. He can still walk through in between. But the firebat bunkers here in the front will keep those Zealots away, as the tanks of course fire on the Zealots first, then they enter, and then the firebat bunkers kill them. But I think Trisha is going to get some results with these drops that he's been throwing out consistently very quickly. He's even adding on more robos. He's got 5 now in total, of which 1 is still being warped in. Stargate there, of course, building courses. He scans the entire base, but the drop is already coming in. Is he ready for this one? I'm not too sure. He's not responding yet. Though now he's pulling his SCVs back to safety, but there's one storm. It's gonna be a second storm. He killed almost nothing with the storm there though, so that's lucky. That's a really good call there from Levi, but once again another drop there on the bottom side, already flying in not even 10 seconds after the other one. I only see a single Templar in there, but I do see a lot. Oh, 2 Templars and a lot of Zealots there. Almost 10 Zealots in the mix. He's going to unload everywhere where he can. He's going to try to unload on top of the SCVs. He's going to try to chase them around, get a storm on the SCVs, but SCVs are being sent back and forth too quick for him to keep up with. But nonetheless, he's doing a lot of damage here because he's killing units and forcing mining downtime. Let's get a storm off there on the SCVs, but SCVs are going to get healed up to full Minos medics here sitting around the SCVs there in the back. But he's being held back, he's being slowed down so significantly much. We're already 12 minutes into the game and he's only on 100 supply because he's continuously losing a lot of units. A lot of SCVs are being stormed, always pulling the SCVs off, and Trisha is just going to keep doing the same. He's just going to rinse and repeat and send in mass drops and hopefully end his opponent's life very soon. He sees the SCVs pulling away, so he just changes direction and unloads right on top of the SCVs. Gets caught off SCV kills there with the tank splash damage. He's going to try to get more kills with the tank splash damage, but he's not succeeding. There's no great storm there coming down. You got SCVs, you got Templars in the front as well. It's so smart from Trisha, knowing that Levi has been overshooting his SCV pool all the way to the front there, and he kills about 15, I think, in total, which is definitely a hard hit that Levi rather would not have happened. But Trisha has... Ooh, tank drop. Tank drop is going to get a kill. I couldn't see him. Oh, Firebats there in the mix as well. But the Firebats sadly get no kills. Valiant effort though, and if he had managed to hit any of those probes, he could have propelled himself back into the match by slowing Trisha down, by killing a lot of probes there. He could have killed a lot of probes, but he kills, I think, 2 or 3, which is very disappointing and very low. But you know, it happens, it happens. But Trisha is loading up another mass drop. He's not attacking the front here whatsoever. He knows that he can just fly in as there's no turrets here and no real anti-air options on the map from Levi, which leads me to believe he might have or should have gone for a different build order, but at least he does have those Goliaths, and Goliaths are pretty good at sniping shuttles. But then of course you have to rely on having a quick reaction speed and a very good awareness of when those shuttles are flying in. He's going to pick up that Templar there, I think. No, he's not going to get picked up. He's just going to walk to the front there to maybe storm some SCVs there. Reason moving to the front, mass shuttles there coming in. He's going to try to snipe a couple of them. Snipes 1, snipes 2, snipes 3, but Reavers there unloading everywhere. Zealots there as well. Templars in the mix as well. Templars right on top of the tanks. Reavers are killing a lot of stuff there. Storm's coming down on everything he can see. And Storm's in the front there as well. And he might go for the command center here unless he managed to clear out all these units, but the tank is moving from the front to the back because he's forced to. But that's pretty much everything here in the back has been cleared out, and he's got 17 minerals, and he knows the game is over because he's still fighting, and he knows the next drop is going to be coming in very, very soon. He didn't lose that many SCVs, but he simply has no money, and he simply can't afford to defend another attack there from Trisha. And that's a very quick and convincing win there for Trisha, who makes Levi's Terran vs Protoss look not that strong, to be honest. Not that strong. Maybe if he had not lost any of his workers to the one drop, he might have had a better shot at it. But losing workers and having a very peculiar build order that has, you know, not really been tested that well by high-level opponents, you might be shooting yourself in the foot a little bit too early and help your opponent get an easier win than they should have. But yeah, Trisha played this well. This is kind of a textbook example of how you play a shuttle drop build order. Anyway, we've got a second replay between these two players, so let's dive right into game number 2 and see how that one pans out. Although, do note, these two replays were played, I think, about 20 days apart. So they're not part of a set. They just happen to be 2 replays between Levi and Trisha that I found in Trisha's autosave file. So let's move on. So we've got the second replay played on the Style map, probably created by Clan Style or maybe by Levi himself. Both players are right next to each other, and this is a pretty good spawning location for Levi, as he can potentially use the hill there to get pretty easy access to the probes here with tanks. But until it happens, I'm still going to call this a map and a game that's in favor of Trisha. He's on the green Protoss, Levi on the blue Terran. So I kind of hope that Levi goes for a little bit of a more proven build order instead of the one he did in the game before, but it looks like he's going for the same one. The exact same placement of his barracks is pretty far away from his command center, not that compact. So I'm having my doubts already, because we can see Trisha is going for the same build order as he did last game, although his Nexus is not coming down. Usually we see a Nexus come down before the 2 gateways, but he's going to build that Nexus after he queues up those 2 Zealots and send them out for some Zealot harass. So that's a little bit different from how most players do this build order. But I trust Trisha. I trust he will do just the right things to get himself a win. So he catches those Marines there in the front. Marines are being pulled back there, Zealot are chasing them. More Marines are going to be spawning very soon. Trisha knows, so he just turns around and wants to kill that one Marine there out in the middle. He gets it. He gets the Marine kill. Pretty well done. No Academy on the way yet for Levi. He can afford one, but is not yet on the way. He's focusing on building Marines first. Supply depot there finishes up. No longer supply stuck. He's doing some SCV damage there with the SCV on the probes. We've got a Cyber Core coming in there from Trisha, or is it a Forge? And not a Cyber Core just yet. That looks to be a Forge. He might be trying to go for a cannon push. He's got a probe there going in. He's getting a pretty good attack there on those Marines, but the Marines are being microed back better than Trisha is attacking, or can even micro. Because well-microed Marines will always win against microed Zealots. It's pretty hard to do for the Protoss. Though he's now on the chase. There's no cannons here in front. There's no pylon in the front either. This looks to be a pretty big mistake here from Trisha, who's trying to do something different from the usual stuff, which might actually prove to backfire here, as doing something different from the usual stuff either relies on your opponent not seeing it, or you having a pretty damn good unorthodox build order that is definitely going to get you some damage on the enemy in the early stages. He's managing to scare those Marines away with his 5 Zealots, but as more Marines enter the fray and his medics are on the way there as well, he will be turning around and chasing those Marines back to the base very soon. Trisha, knowing this will happen, decides to discontinue chasing, places Zealots there in the front just to keep those Marines there in the base. We have an engineering bay on the way there, Academy finished of course, and we've got Stim Upgrade there on the way. Commands are being built there on the top side as well to help boost his economy. There's an extra 4 SCVs per minute, and it's an extra 10 SCVs per 140 seconds. That's actually a little bit less, but let's just make 140. So Robo here coming down in the front. Cannons being coming down in the front there as well. Levi is going to try to go for an attack, but there's a lot of Zealots there that are scaring the Marines away, and he cannot fight into those cannons and those Zealots at the same time with a mass this small. He's going to need at least another 2 or 3 waves of Marines and Fire Bats to come into the middle before he can even think of going for the attack. Luckily for him, Trisha is no longer making Zealots. He has enough Zealots, he thinks. Instead, he's going for his tech. He's got the Citadel of Doom there coming in on the back. Robo facility there in the front, finishing up. Another one there on the way. Gateway being placed in the front as well to keep units away from attacking the cannons in the back and having being forced to attack those Zealots there first. Loses 1 Marine there to a cannon being too close in range. There's a support bay there on the side as well. So Reaver's going to be coming in very soon. I think he's going to go for the exact same build order, honestly, with Zealot legs, Reavers, 1 shuttle, double Reaver, and a frontal attack. That is the bread and butter that we most often see. Levi, though, now making 2 factories, throws out a scan there on the back side here, so you can see the tech. There is going to be coming in a Templar's Archive there very soon, although he might first build Panzer on the side and buy his Reavers. He has 1 of them queued up at the moment, number 2 queued up as well. One Zealot's going to fly over the hill and do some recon and see what Levi has in his base. Because he, I think, is suspecting that Levi has pretty much no units in his base, that all his units are here in the front trying to hammer this down, but I think he's going to turn around back to base knowing that Trisha is probably going to go for an attack very soon. He does not want to lose his Reavers, his units to those Reavers or the Zealots that are going to be running out aggressively very, very soon. And I made a mistake here. Because I thought Trisha would be going for Zealot speed, but he has no Zealot speed on the way, so he's going for shuttle speed, which of course is standard. The Templar's Archive there on the... 2 Templars Archives there on the way. That is a little bit of a mistake there from Trisha. He might notice it soon, but I don't think he will because he's occupied with setting up his next attack. Or well, his first real attack really. Because the other attack he did was more or less intended to keep the turn busy. It's technically an attack, but it's not with the purpose of really dealing real damage. It's mostly there to prune down the Marine numbers and keep the opponent away while you tech up. Gateways and Stargates being queued up there. You're gonna land those Reavers here in the front. Zealots are on the way, but no Zealot speed has been finished up yet. He's got Psionic Storm there being queued up in his Templar's Archive. And you got the Dark Templar there on the way as well, 2 Tie Templars. And he gets a lot of ring kills there with the Reaver. Tanks are being forced to move back. Marines are being spread out a little bit to avoid maximum Reaver damage. Gonna take down that bunker there first and then run in with his Zealots. But that's a lot. That's a pretty good spread here that Levi has himself. So we should be able to defend against this push here from Trisha. Also to note, unlike the last game, now his turrets are on the side. He's going to try to move forward with those Reavers, but the Marines are moving forward, and they're going to stim down those Reavers very quick. Tanks finishing off a Reaver, and the Reaver then in the back goes down as well before he gets picked up by Trisha. And Trisha has made some small mistakes there, trying to multitask while attacking, which is not always the best choice. Even though, of course, multitasking is very useful, sometimes you can make mistakes when the opponent decides to attack while you are moving back to your base to produce and build things. So Dark Templar there in the front because he killed the turret, but a scan comes down to kill the Dark Templar, and the Templar goes down very quick. And it looks like Levi is honestly looking pretty good this game. He's a little bit slow in some regards, but he has everything he needs on the way. Although the huge drop there and everything he has is in the front, and he has nothing to deal with this drop. 2 Templars there, 4 Templars there on the low ground. 1 storm comes down, but he misses most of the SVs. Although he gets a lot of SV kills there. With that storm, he killed about 11 or 12, I think, and more Marines coming to the back, getting stormed to death as well. Zealots have gone down. Zealots still clearing out. The turrets are on the side. There's a pretty big hit there from Trisha on Levi, who has managed to hold off the attack and keep the damages to a minimum, but he couldn't afford to lose at least a couple of his SCVs there, and any SCV loss there is still a good thing for Trisha. Trisha going in once again, but has to redirect his shuttles because it's getting sniped down by those Marines. Marines are on the chase. Shuttle there still alive. There's Templars in there. No, Templar there gets the storm off, but he kills no SCVs. Instead, he gets a storm off on the Marines, but nonetheless, he manages to keep Levi busy by pulling off his workers and denying him some of his income, as the next drop is already being prepared here in the base for Trisha. He's adding on 2 more robos there to make 4 shuttles at the same time, and he's filling out the remainder of his base with gateways. It's honestly a really good chance here for Levi to go for a tank drop, but at the moment he's got no dropship. His dropship, unlike Voss for example or Libagu, is rather slow. Both players like to go for very quick dropships, go for a very quick counter drop before all these cannons that Trisha is now warping in, well, are warped in and finished up. But Trisha is one of those players who does take more risk with his main proc defense than most other players would. And I do think we might be seeing it backfire in future replays where Trisha is one of the players. A lot of tanks are in the front once again. That's a total of 9 tanks there sieged up. It's gonna have to kill that one in the front there to break free. Trisha is doing quite well. He's a little bit behind, as I mentioned earlier, only on 2 factories, 4 barracks and 2 starports, but he's building his base pretty quick. His supply count is pretty good. He's going to come in with a drop there from over the front. There's Templar in there. Templar's going to storm on those tanks. Since the Zealots coming in from the front. Kills Marines in the back as well. Zealots are getting on top of the tanks. And now there's all of a sudden not that many units here for Levi to defend with, as Trisha is walking over the front there. He killed 5 tanks there in total. 6 tanks have gone down out of the 9. 1 more has spawned. Going to land a couple of them. They're up on the hill to make life harder for Trisha when he's trying to attack. More Marines, more tanks are spawning. He's not making raids as anti-drop because at the moment he cannot afford it. There's 2 Templars there inside that shuttle. 1 Marine there spots it out. The engineering bay there spots it out as well. So he's going to have to turn around very soon. But the real drop is being loaded up here inside of his base, where he's adding Zealots, Templars, a lot of Templars actually, into the shuttles, and he's going to flat it in over the wide open area here on the side. And there's no Marines there in between to catch those shuttles. This is gonna be a very hard defense here for him. He's unloading right on top of the SCVs. There's a storm on the SCVs. Most SCVs they're staying alive. He actually, that storm was really hard there. It killed 21 SCVs there with the triple storm there right here in that little corridor. There's still Templars alive. Templar gets flown closer to the SCVs. Gets another storm on the SCVs, but no SCVs there go down. Well, actually, one of them went down. And yeah, Trisha is once again having a really good time here with his storm drops, whereas Levi is having a really difficult time defending. He simply is not playing it as most other players would play this matchup. He's keeping too many of his Marines there in the front instead of using them to snipe shuttles, as for example Humber Kasasu would do, or pretty much any of the other top Terran players would do. They would always try to snipe those shuttles in addition to dodging the storms with their SCVs. He's got still, there's another drop here being loaded up for Trisha. This is pretty much one of the big drop games. He's also building a mass amount of gateways here on the middle of the map, just because he can. Why build in your base? You can build mass gateways and rally them to a nice little spot right there and just send them in non-stop. That's what he's going to do. He's going to attack non-stop. Tanks here up on the hill because maybe that's also why Trish is building gateways on the middle, because he knows these tanks up on the hill are threatening his gateways in his own base. He flies in with another mass drop. This time around he's maxed out completely, and he unloads once again near the corridor where the SCVs that are flying away, running away, are going through. One storm comes down, another storm comes down there, kills a couple of SCVs there. Actually, almost no SCVs there go down. Most of the shuttles happen to be empty, and the Templars actually get no results there whatsoever. Oh, he gets a pretty good storm off there on the SCVs that are in the back, but most SCVs had run away to safety and stay alive. Medics coming to the back as well to help heal up those SCVs. There might still be a Templar in there. No Templar in those shuttles, but another drop already loading up. And mass units being built here on the middle. A lot of Dragoons, a lot of Zealots. I think he's just going to try to run in through the front here. But his tanks up on the hill might make that difficult, because he's going to have to unload units up on the hill to take care of those tanks there before he can pull off any real successful frontal attacks on his opponent. So despite Levi having a hard time, he's still making progress, because most of the time, most of his SVs are staying alive. One tanks up on the hill, and he's gonna start the abuse there with the hill tanks, and gonna probably try to push closer to the probes there on the minerals. But whether he's gonna succeed, I'm not sure, because as I've mentioned before in previous games, he is not the kind of Terran player to build a wall, even though building a wall is definitely what he has to do. Please, Trump, help this man build a wall. So he's unloading setups up on the hill, as I mentioned that he had to do. And the frontal attack here is having some success because it's killing some stuff. Huge storms coming down there on bunkers and Marines there, so the Marines have gone down. But the tanks there behind the bunkers are having no trouble whatsoever killing the Dragoons. So Levi once again buys himself a lot of time. Tanks are being unloaded on the low ground once again to help him push closer to the probes. And Trisha is going to have to get some real damage down on his opponent very quick, very soon, because his opponent is getting bigger and bigger. He's got Valkyries on the way as well as anti-drop. He's got more tanks, more Marines everywhere spread out across his base. He only has 5 factories there though. Another frontal attack here happening, although it's mostly just distraction units, as this real drop is going to come in, but he's going to fly straight into those Valkyries. But there's only 2 Valkyries, and the other 2 have not yet spawned, so he's going to fly in all the way, and even more are flying in right here as a distraction. He's going to fly in all the way to the SVs. SVs are running away. He's got 4 Templars there in the mix. 1 storm. Ooh, that's a lot of storms that are coming down on those SVs, but SVs there once again staying alive and running to safety. He just killed about 6 or 7 there in the end, though, because the SVs were going into 2 separate directions. One group was going to the back, one group was going to the front, although you can call it 3 groups, because that's a lot of SVs he's got there. But his minerals are very low, because he's been spending his minerals, but he's been pretty much losing income to having to run away non-stop all the time. And with his frontal attack here, he's going to get more results because there's no tanks up on the hill. Those tanks are now loading up on the hill, and it's going to make life harder. But once again, Zealots are coming in as well, and Zealots have upgrades. They have 1 armor, level 2 weapon, and they're getting closer to the tanks, and the tank number is getting smaller and smaller. And it's just only 5 factors there in the back ready to produce. It's going to be hard, though. Another drop there coming in once again, getting close to the SCVs and the tanks in the back there. It's Templars unloading. Templar gets a storm off. No storms coming down there from Levi. On Levi's SCVs, so Levi keeps all of his workers alive, but he's only 0 minerals. 0 minerals there for Levi, because he's always forced to run away with his probes, with these SCVs. Whereas Trisha is just comfortably remassing and remassing and remassing and sending his units into the fight. What's he gonna do here? He's gonna go in with a frontal attack. Is he gonna unload those zealots on top of those tanks there in the back? Yes, he is. He's gonna get some splash damage down on the tanks. Because the tanks, hitting his own tanks is what Trisha needed. And he cleared out this entire frontal portion there with a very simple but effective and small attack. And Levi here now knows that the game is over. He knows that he lost too many units, and there's too many units on the way there from Trisha, from the middle base he's got here, a lot of proxy gateways. His base is actually almost as big as his proxy gateway base. He does have a lot of Nexi here, a lot of probes, a lot of gas. He's got income there as well, upgrades on the way there too. And Trisha is just doing a rinse and repeat to great success, whereas Levi really should have built a frontal wall here. He would have had much more success defending if he just had a goddamn depot wall here to keep those zealots out and make attacking harder for Trisha. Because Levi was doing a really great job there with his SCV work. He was keeping his SCVs alive most of the time for most of the game. But if he only had built a depot wall here in the front, he would have had so much more success. Because then he wouldn't be losing tanks behind the depot wall all the time. He wouldn't be losing bunkers or marines all the time. He would be having them safe where the enemy cannot access them. Which is apparently, as we saw this game, a very important thing to focus on. Yeah, thanks for watching. Trisha wins 2 games. As usual, Protoss happens to win, or tends to win. Although this game, it's mostly because Levi made some very poor choices. He defended well at times. Trisha had problems trying to get real damage down. But Levi just had to build that damn wall. And yeah, win the game. Yeah, thanks for watching. I hope you come back another time for more videos. And see you soon.